Did you yell America when you hit the accelerator?
Oh, no.
And now, your favorite two blue-collar nobodies to give you their quiet perspective, Star-Lord and Joey.
You can't handle the truth!
Good morning, campers, and welcome back to The Quiet Perspective. I am your supreme eminent Star-Lord, along here with my co-host, Joey.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the show. What are we talking about tonight?
We are going to talk about the latest controversy, the latest social outcry, which is so huge, we just have to talk about it. The multiple controversies surrounding the new movie, Joker.
Isn't it embarrassing that we even have to talk about this? But we really do.
We have to, because it's stupid, and we need to point out all the stupidity revolving around everyone that is stupid. So by my count, there are three quote unquote major controversies. Huge eye roll. I wish you could see it when I say it. Major controversies surrounding this movie. The first one being, of course, and this one's a little bit grounded, makes somewhat sense. You can kind of see a point of view. People just take it too far. The depiction of violence in the movie has people in an uproar.
You can only make a movie so violent in the United States and it gets released, right? So there's been plenty of movies that have been pretty violent that we can all think about. But how violent is it?
Okay, well, the movie's it's not overly violent like throughout. There's a couple pretty dark scenes in it. So I guess the issue here, I think a lot of it stems from back in 2000 whatever, when The Dark Knight Rises got released, the Heath Ledger Joker movie, and somebody shot up a movie theater.
Yeah, in Aurora, Colorado.
And
there was the big buildup about this movie that may happen.
Exactly.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know why, because it's the Joker and the Batman movie. I mean, why would that be?
That's my guesstimation. So much to the fact that there were actually theaters that would not show the movie. They were actually shutting it down. Increased cop presence throughout a lot of the theaters. Theaters were not letting you wear masks or dress up and things like that, as if that's going to prevent the shooter. Oh, I didn't get to wear my makeup. I'm not going to shoot you now.
Well, let me ask you a question. After the Aurora shooting in a theater, a no gun zone, wouldn't more police make sense anyway? But anyway, that's another topic. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, don't we can't get started on that one.
Yeah.
So the big issue I have with this is controversial depiction of violence. That's the headline. That's again, social media outrage. How many movies out there nowadays have extreme violence in them?
I mean, it's a movie.
We're not having the same reaction.
First of all, it's a movie, right? It's make believe. Now,
well, in today's society, you don't take responsibility for your own actions. So if I decide to watch this movie and go shoot up a school bus full of nuns or orphans, I can blame it on the movie and it's okay. It's not my fault. Well, here's a news flash. I've seen the movie 5 times. I'm not exactly right in the head, and I was armed all 5 times, and nobody died around me.
Yeah, I didn't hear one story of any violence in any of the movie theaters. Everything went off without a hitch. I think it was, based on the Aurora shooting, just because if it was any other movie, this wouldn't have been a thing. You know what I mean? It's just the Batman movie. It happened. This is Joker. So now they're going to shoot this one up. What is that logic?
It comes down to the millennial super left liberal ideology of banning things and wanting to control and censor everything. Anything they don't agree with or just want to create a cause with, they want to get rid of. And that's what this is.
Which is amazing because it's a movie, and as we all know, Hollywood's pretty far left leaning.
Yeah, I love how they eat their own on that.
Yeah.
I find it funny because this movie depicts violence. I saw John Wick 3 in the movie theater. There was way more violence in that movie, way more guns, and I didn't hear a damn thing. I just think people need to stop trying to blame the media outlet, whether it be movies, video games, or music, for violent thoughts and actions or just stupid things that people do in general. You know,
Well,
people need to be
yeah.
held accountable for what the hell they're doing. Because I went and watched The Lion King. I didn't have the urge to go kill a bunch of lions. I went and watched It. I didn't want to eat a bunch of kids other than my own. And Rambo didn't make me go kill a bunch of Mexicans. So I really think we're good on this. People need to stop outraging over stupid shit.
Yeah, because history shows they've gone after music, they've gone after video games, they've gone after movies before. And they've had studies about all of those, and there's no correlation there that, ties
It's unfounded.
the actor to the act, as far as
Yeah,
any of
it's
those
unfounded.
activities. It's
So-
just ridiculous.
Moving on to the second social media outrage, eye roll. You're gonna love this one. This one, it just baffles the hell out of me. Social media outrage and demands for Joker movie to be banned as it shows murderous psychopath smoking a cigarette.
Okay. Really?
Let that sink in. The sentence itself shows murderous psychopath smoking a cigarette. Can you guess which part of that sentence there's the issue? Do you know what the topic is here?
The fact that they put cigarette in there makes me lean towards that's the problem.
Yes. So there's People Against Nicotine in Cinema. It's a group called Panic. Came out quoting saying, "Young people are very susceptible to media influences," said Simon Williams of Panic. And depicting a character going out and buying a pack of cigarettes before enjoying them gives the impression that that's acceptable behavior. Now, I want to point out a very specific scene in the movie.
Not to cut you off, but none of these people grew up in the 80s, I don't think.
There's no way.
Or before that,
Which,
what I mean?
Coincidentally, this movie takes place in the 80s.
They're reflecting actual behavior from the time period.
Yes,
okay.
It is 100% accurate.
Okay.
So I want to point out a very specific scene in the movie where Joker violently stabs someone in the neck, in the face, and then bashes her head up against the wall and kills him, and then smokes a cigarette. And somebody wants to complain about the cigarette. Now, I wouldn't complain about either, but if you got to pick one you've got a problem with or an issue with, young people watching, I gotta think it's the murder.
What would have been really funny, though, with all the outrage on vaping, is if he would have had a vape pen.
Oh, gosh, I wish... we need to do a Zack Snyder cut where he's vaping.
That would have been hilarious.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Selective outrage. I mean, these people have no clue on what they want to complain about. Now, something else I want to point out that drives me nuts about all these issues is it's always social media is ablaze with outrage and this and that. I really want to stop giving credence to all these assholes. Just because one person puts it up on Facebook or Twitter and they're important enough, or just two people, that doesn't constitute outrage. Just because it's out there doesn't mean it's the majority, doesn't mean it's worth talking about, but it gains so much traction nowadays because everybody has a voice and we need to stop giving it to them.
Well, that, and just because of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, it's also instant, Instagram. It's also instant. You get a movie come out, there's one person, one influencer, in those social media realms that they call them, somebody with a bunch of people following them. They put one comment out, "I don't like it because they smoked in it." And
I think
they may have 2 or 3 million followers, and guess what? They all agree because they're followers, and that's the new movement. That's where we are.
And I want to point this out real quick. I am a firm believer that social media is a part of the huge decline in just our society as a whole, because of the fact that you have that instant voice, that instant outlet, and millions of people can see it. The new trend is anything that's popular, anything that's good, or something that's got a lot of attention. The new cool thing to do is to be against it, to take a cause up against it. And I think that's what a lot of this stuff is. I think it's just
it really is
outrage for attention.
Yeah. It's cool. It's just like in the 70s, being a hippie against the system, and that's today's hippie mentality. I
That's
think.
exactly what it is, I think. So moving on to I think the biggest Joker controversy topic I want to talk about. This one blows my mind. This one pisses me off for multiple reasons. There's a episode, actually, that same scene I told you about where he kills somebody, walks down the hall smoking a cigarette. A song starts to play in the background.
And
I don't.
not to cut you off, but because of YouTube rules, we cannot play the song, or we would be playing it right now. But because of copyright rules, we cannot. I will leave a link in the description for the song because it's on YouTube. You can listen to it all day somehow on somebody else's channel, but we can't take that chance. So
And you've all heard it. You've all
yeah,
heard the song.
yeah, everybody knows it.
You've heard an NBA game, NFL game. It's called Rock and Roll Part 2 by, what's his name? Gary Glitter.
Gary Glitter, yes.
So you may be asking, why is there there's only one word in the whole song, and it's how's it go? It's
Hey?
so hard to remember. Hey.
Yeah,
It's all instrumental, and then it says hey.
yeah.
So what's the big problem? Well, I didn't know this. I actually had to look it up, read the article to figure it out. Apparently, Joey, I think you got the facts on it.
Yeah, Gary Glitter, okay. In 2015, he was sentenced to 16 years in prison after a conviction of child sex abuse, okay? He had one count of attempted rape of a girl under 13 and 4 counts of indecent assault against girls. So, obviously, the guy who wrote the song is a piece of trash. And we obviously don't endorse that type of behavior. As a matter of fact, I think Roy can agree with me. We're both fathers of daughters.
I think death would be a much better penalty.
Yeah, that's where we are on that. I don't know why he got prison. He probably got convicted in California, and they don't do to the death penalty. Whatever. There's a special place in hell for pedophiles. That being said, the song has been a montage for sports in America, and I'm not defending the guy. Keep that in mind. It's a song, okay? It's just a song. That music has been a part of sports forever. It's been in movies too. It was in Sudden Death in 1995 with Jean-Claude Van Damme. In 1996, it was in Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. It was in The Replacements in 2000 with Keanu Reeves. And in Small Soldiers in 1998.
Which was a great movie, by the way, that Joey has not seen.
I had no idea what that movie was.
So, and according to social media justice warriors out there, we have to decry the movie, decry their choice for putting it in there, and ban it, I guess. Not watch it and everything. There's several comments on the Twitter and everything about people just in awe about watching the movie of violence and all this stuff. And then that song came on, and they just couldn't believe their ears. One guy said, with all of this real world background in mind, is it appropriate for Joker to use Glitter's music? And I'm sitting here thinking, why is that what you think about? It's a pump up.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's what plays in your head when you're having a training montage at the gym and you're looking at your own guns in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do. I'm not sitting here thinking about raping little kids while I hear the song. It doesn't take away from the movie in any way, whether I had knowledge of the rape case before or after. I don't care. It doesn't change anything to me.
Now, I will say this. If they wanted shock value, because I didn't know until we were going to talk about this, looking some of this stuff up, that they actually used that song. However, I still don't care.
Yeah. Either way, it makes sense in the movie, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, like you just said, that would make perfect sense for being in the Joker movie.
It's a shock thing. It's supposed to be a shocking movie. That's what the director wanted, you know?
My issue with it is I don't understand why it's a big deal. I mean, are you really that offended by a song? One Twitter user wrote, quote, "They used a Gary Glitter song in Joker. Holy shit, Americans don't know about Gary Glitter, do they?" Who cares? Is it a bad movie now?
Yeah.
I saw one thing that somebody commented, and it kind of gives a little bit of perspective. It makes a little bit of sense, but I still think it's overreach and stupid. Fuda Chin, whatever, on Twitter wrote, "I'd love to see the new Joker movie. It looks fantastic. but there's music by the convicted pedo Gary Glitter in it. If he's being paid royalties, I won't be handing over my cash. Okay.
I get that. Fight, if you got a cause, fight it with your money.
That's a little more grounded. You got to pick your battles. That's how I see it.
And
I think
let
this
me-
is a stupid thing to complain
And
about.
let me ask you this also. Think back in the history of all the movies and all the good music that's been in all these movies. Can you tell me, like, especially like 60s, 70s music? I'm not saying they did anything illegal with girls or anything like that, but I'm saying a lot of popular music it still is played today from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even up till now. Somebody was using an illegal drug.
Well, we can go very similar. Since Elvis Presley, he married his cousin who was underage.
That's a fantastic point.
Or Jerry Lee Lewis did the same
Jerry
thing.
Lee Lewis. How do we feel about that now? Great Balls of Fire.
It's not a good song anymore. Can't listen to it.
Yeah.
Hell. All right. Hello. I don't know if we're allowed to say it because the left go crazy because the color of his skin, which is ironic. Michael Jackson. Are we not allowed to hear Beat It or Thriller anymore because of the allegations?
Well, he was never convicted though, just like OJ wasn't, right?
Oh,
and we all know OJ was innocent. So
I think this all boils down to the leftist obsession with trying to erase history or erase anything they don't like or doesn't fit their narrative or point of view. I think it's sick. I think it's ridiculous. And I think they just need to leave stuff alone. If you don't like it, don't go watch it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care about it. Stop trying to change everything. Let people do what they want to do.
yeah,
Social media outrage is fake, it's wrong, and it's bullshit.
I concur.
So on that note, I think we'll just jump right into our little social media minute where we scroll through our little Facebook feed and just talk about a couple things that pop up. And I'm going to scroll through my wall here, yada, yada, yada. Oh, here's a good, funny one from Fox News. Joe Biden is quoted as saying, "No one in my family will have an office in the White House, will sit in on meetings as if they are a cabinet member or have any business relationships with anyone that relates to a foreign corporation or foreign country."
His son sits on the board of directors of the Ukrainian gas company.
Well, I think the key word he means here is in his White House. So if he's president, that'll change.
Well, yeah, that's hilarious in its own. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's.
Well, to feed right into that, the next story I see, and don't mean to keep it so political, but Biden more in battling for top spot heading into Tuesday's 2020 Dem debate.
Wow. That's the ones battling it out.
Either one of them, I'll take it all day long.
If that's the best they can throw at Trump, I feel pretty good about Trump.
Oh, here's a good one. Oh, I like this. New movie coming up. Doolittle. That's going to be Dr. Doolittle, and Robert Downey Jr. is going to reprise the role or do the role as Dr. Doolittle. And I think it'll be great because that man's a god.
I mean, it's not fucking Iron Man, but
there's got to be a reference in it. Oh, okay. I just want to read the headline and we'll go off of this because this is hilarious. Hillary and Chelsea Clinton have an awkward moment over whether a person with a beard and a penis can identify as a woman.
Their crowd thinks that's a normal thing. What's the problem? I'm not saying I don't have a problem with it, but you know.
I think it's funny. Why is it an awkward moment? Because they know they're full of shit defending this garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's our social media, and that's our society in decline right there.
Yeah.
So,
that's what we need to call it, society in decline instead of social media minute.
Gosh, you're right. Well, that's it for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave comments for us and let us know what you think. We enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. This is Star-Lord and Joey signing off.